I never dreamed this would be part of my life. I mean, I'm an educated professional, older woman. I mean, it's craziness.
Daun Bauman said that she was physically assaulted by her husband, but it's what we learned after that made us question so much about the criminal justice system here in Nashville. You see, the magistrates who set bond here in Nashville don't have direct access to your criminal history through the National Crime Information Center, or NCIC, which means they set bond without knowing if you've committed the same crime in any other county. How that relates to Daun is that when her husband was arrested, she told the cops, attorneys, and anyone she could that he was already on probation for stalking another woman in a different county before they met. Instead of denying this man bond based on what Daun just told them, bond was set at $5,000. Her husband posted bond and was released. The same man who allegedly sent Daun's friend a text saying that he was going to make Daun disappear. So when we interviewed Daun, she was hiding from this man. You know, she was in fear for her life.
I just think it's fair that I shouldn't have to worry about being murdered.
Daun's husband is now in custody in a different county because they say he violated his probation. So at the very least, she's no longer in hiding. All of this goes back to the question of why the magistrates don't have access to this NCIC database. Because as Daun puts it, had they known some of the context behind what he was charged with in the past, it could have made a compelling argument for GPS monitoring. I mean, we took a closer look at this guy's criminal history and found that he'd been charged with anything from aggravated harassment to aggravated stalking to, violating multiple orders of protection. All of that happened in a different county, which means there's a good chance that the magistrates here in Nashville didn't take any of that into account. Now, you might say, don't law enforcement have access to NCIC? Yes, but for some reason, it's not that simple. The magistrates share a building with law enforcement who have access to NCIC. So it could be as simple as just sharing resources and making sure that people are communicating with one another. That just hasn't been the case. And so what the General Sessions judges are trying to do is they're trying to get access to NCIC for all of the magistrates through the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. As always, I want to know, what do you think?